Stanley. But now let's talk stocks. Our research team is here with us to give us the top 10 stocks that you need to watch out for today. And of course, top of mind will be the banks. Lata, how will they react to the new norms?
Well, my sense is that the banking stocks, at least the big heavy ones with exposure to infrastructure like ICICI, IDBI, SBI and maybe even Canara Bank will be cheered today. Let me begin at the beginning. What RBI had done in February 2014 was that the moment you start seeing some stress that, companies don't pay their interest in the first 31 days, that is 1 month, and then they don't pay for 2 months, you categorize these loans as what you call special mention accounts, and the bankers to them should form a joint lender forum. Now, this joint lender forum recast the debt. Now, before the joint lender forum, the debt was recast by what you call the CDR mechanism or the corporate debt restructuring mechanism. What RBI said yesterday is that every time you revamp, you should put in a clause that if you don't meet my milestones, I will convert the debt into equity. The milestones could be sales, reduction of debt, such like. Now, chances are that once the CDR mechanism is not working, in spite of giving more money or more time to repay, the infrastructure asset in question is not giving returns or meeting the milestones, banks can immediately say that as of now, as of today, we have decided to recast the debt into equity, and then that will be the previous 10-day average price will be the price at which the debt will be converted into equity. This will give them 51%, and then they can find a new promoter to sell it off. Chances are that this will make promoters behave themselves, and chances are that sometimes they may also participate in the recast. If they are given a minority share and a new promoter comes in, then it's possible that their share value will also rise. So this should be a sentiment positive immediately for the likes of ICICI, IDBI, SBI, the guys who are exposed maximum to large assets. Not everyone is sure that a great deal of restructuring will happen, but I can assure a sentiment positive today for these stocks.
All right, a sentiment positive for all the banks. Let's see how they move. But there are many companies that have high amount of debt. So Varinder has been watching out for all of these leveraged companies. Varinder?
Well, it is certainly a positive news for the banks, but I believe that some of these companies with high debt now they have to be more careful because banks have got bigger teeth now. So keep an eye on these, and remember, it's the last 10-day average. What has been talked in the paper released by RBI. If the banks want to take over under the SDR, they might take over. So companies, of course, the usual names which are coming in front of your screen. Unitech will be one. Where there's a net debt of nearly 6,300 crores, 90% promoter stake is placed. There is JP Associates, one stock which you got to watch out for. That stock has been just falling down. There's a borrowing of nearly 61,000 crores on that bank, on that company. Market cap of only 3,000 crores. So certainly in that case, the interest cost is much higher than the market cap. GMR Infra is another classic example. The stock has been falling down. Debt of nearly 42,000 crore, where 64% of the promoter stake is pledged. Market cap of only 6,800 crores. And of course, there are many other companies, which are Adani Power, Lanco Infra, Suzlon, Bajaj Hindustan, Gammon Infra, the entire JP Group Pack, JP Power, JP Infra. So keep an eye on all these companies which have huge debt, and now certainly, with all these norms coming in, they will be in focus.
All right, thanks a lot for that, Varinder. Sonia, Varinder even alluded to Unitech. It has some fresh reverses with a consumer court going against that company.
Oh, yes. It's like Murphy's Law, whatever has to go wrong with Unitech is going wrong at the same time. But this is long coming, Lata. I mean, the company has delayed one of its projects for 3 years. So they promised to deliver a project in 2013. And now we're in the mid of 2015 and no sign of delivery of that project. So finally, justice has been served to consumers. The Consumer Court has ordered Unitech to pay the home buyers 12% compensation for delaying, the delivery of the flats in the project Vistas in Gurgaon. Now, this overrules the builder-buyer agreement that had set the rate at 1.8% per annum. So 12% per annum compensation will have to be paid from the date of delivery that was originally promised, which was 2013, all the way to the new date which is promised, which is Feb 2016. So 12% per annum is what they have to pay. And if there is any further delay beyond Feb 2016, then they would have to pay 18% compensation. So don't know where they'll get this money from because they're sitting on huge debt of more than 6,000 crores. But in any case, the stock has been under intense pressure and you can expect some more in trade today as well. Lata? All right, well, let's move on. In fact, apart from Unitech, there's labour troubles for Tata Steel as well in the United Kingdom. The worker union of the company's steel plant have decided to go on strike starting the 22nd of June, but the union still insists that they are open for further talks. Kritika Saxena has been following this story and she joins us with more details. Kritika.
Well, this fight between the UK trade unions, which includes 4 of the largest trade unions in UK, and Tata Steel has been going on since November last year. On Thursday, they had taken a nationwide ballot to vote in favour of a strike, and a decision has finally been taken. The strike will go through on the 22nd of June. Now, let me put this into perspective. 22nd June is a 24-hour-long strike. What the General Secretary of the key trade union, that is Community, Roy Ricketts, told CNBC TV 18 was that if Tata Steel does not respond with a favourable comment or favourable negotiations in that 24-hour, only post that will they look at making it indefinite, making it an indefinite strike. What does that mean? All workers in Tata Steel's UK operations will go on strike, which means that the operations of Tata Steel will come to a halt. However, is this the end of the road yet? No, it isn't. There is a 7-day period wherein Tata Steel has time to respond and make any negotiations, despite the UK trade union telling us that Tata Steel hasn't come up with any kind of clarity, any kind of negotiation. They're not willing to have a communication, a clear-cut communication. There seems to be a communication lag there. Tata Steel has been indicating, has made a statement and has told CNBC TV 18 as well that they are keen to resolve this amicably. We understand that they are looking at some kind of settlement and they are working on coming up with a response. So it's not the end of the road yet, but yes, if an indefinite strike goes through, it will be a negative. Yet Tata Steel has some time.
Okay, has some time, but you can perhaps expect the stock to be under pressure today based on this news flow. But another restructuring exercise is in the offing at Vedanta. Sources indicate that Vedanta and Cairn India's board may be meeting as early as this weekend to discuss a merger. Nayantara Rai, who's been tracking the story, is here to tell us more. Nayantara.
Another mega restructuring exercise in the offing at Vedanta. I understand from my sources that what is being proposed now is to merge Cairn India with Vedanta Limited. In fact, boards of both those companies, that's Cairn India and Vedanta Limited, expected to meet as early as this weekend. Sources indicating that perhaps we're going to see the boards of the two companies meet on Sunday. A clutch of bankers have already been reached out to. For example, JM and Bank of America Merrill Lynch is what I do understand. The timing couldn't be better for Vedanta Limited. If you look at the closing price of the two stocks on Monday, they're pretty similar. In fact, Vedanta Limited is right now, or rather on Monday's closing price, is 3 rupees cheaper than Cairn India. Why would Vedanta want to go ahead with this merger? Well, Cairn India is cash rich. It has almost $4 billion in cash. And if a merger does take place, then Vedanta will get access to Cairn India's cash. Too early to talk about swap ratios, but like I told you, the share price of both Vedanta and Cairn India quite similar, but any real work on that is expected only after the boards of the two companies give a go-ahead. But big headline being, watch out for Sunday or this weekend when the two boards meet for that proposed merger.
All right, thanks a lot for that, Nayantara. Well.